So hi everyone, my name's Terry. I'm the founder of snookerz.co.uk. Our mission is to highlight, showcase, support amateur and grassroots snooker, and to enable us to do that, we're delighted for the 2023 season 24 to have been sponsoring professional player Martin ODonnell, who we're delighted joins us today. Martin, thanks for joining us. I've got a few basic facts here. Born 86, 37 years old. First joined the tour in 2012. So in between 86 and 2012, tell us a little bit about who Martin ODonnell is and your journey towards the game, basically.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I was a bit of a late starter, to be fair, with snooker. I played football first. Yeah, played for Wycombe Wanderers until I was 13, 14 sort of thing. And yeah, that went not the way I wanted it to go. Obviously, I got dropped there and yeah, kind of lost confidence with football and was always played snooker and always watched it with my mum and dad. And yeah, joined a local club where there was competitions, weekly competitions that started. And that kind of really gave me the bug for playing, the competition side of things. And yeah, kind of went from there. And when I was 16, after school, started college, but wasn't enjoying it and just wanted to play snooker really, and sorted out getting some free practice at my local club. Before I went to my mum and dad and said, look, you know, is there any chance I can drop out of college and just play snooker and, you know, get a part-time job to support myself? And that took quite a bit of convincing. But eventually they said, yeah. And yeah, so that's what I started to do. And within my first year, I got to an under-17s final where I beat Jimmy Robertson, funnily enough. So my first year of like sort of playing full time, I won a junior comp. And you know, because I'd only really started playing in them kind of comps like when I was 15 maybe, and everyone else had been playing since they were sort of 10 and 11. So I was quite a bit behind on that kind of experience. But yeah, from 16 to 18, I kind of improved a lot and did well. Got to the English Amateur Final when I was 19. And that was played at the Royal Automobile Club in Pall Mall in London. And I got offered a job on the back of that there in their billiard room. So yeah, so I worked there for 5.5 years really, until I turned pro. And that was great, to be honest with you. You know, I was earning a wage and getting to play a lot of snooker, and you know, they were fantastic for me really.
So,
yeah.
Am I correct in saying that you turned pro in 2012? Was that right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. So yeah. So no, I worked. I mean, I was nearly 20 in the English Amateur Finals. I think I was turning 20 the next month. I actually didn't take the job straight away. It was a year later where I took the job. And yeah, so once I turned pro, it kind of was time to make the next step really, and got myself a star table and a club to play out of locally. And luckily, I had some sponsors at the time to help support me a little bit. And yeah, started to give it a crack, and you know, been a fair few ups and downs along the way, but you know, no regret.
So in between 2012 and I believe it was 2017, while you were first on the tour, what were a few of the highlights there that you can recall? A few of the key matches, best moments, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, the first year I got on tour, actually, I got to the quarterfinals of PTC in Scotland, and then qualified for the German Masters sort of a few weeks after that. So I quite enjoyed my first year on tour. And then, yeah, struggled a little bit after that, I would say. I didn't really start kicking on until until 2017 came really, because I dropped off tour for a year. So I had a year out in them first 4 or 5 years, and then got back on. And yeah, a match that stands out to me a lot actually is a match in China. I played in the last 16 against Mark Allen, and he beat me 6-5. And I had 3 tons, 2 70s, I think, and he had 2 tons, 2 80s, and a 60 or something. Mad game. And then in the decider, there wasn't a break. It was the only game where there wasn't a break in the decider, and lost it on the pink or black or something. But that, yeah, I always remember that game.
Wow. So in the 2016-17 season, I can see that you also had some notable successes there. Mark Selby, who you defeated 5-1. Tapaya Unu, who I always pronounce wrong, so my apologies to him if he sees this. Again, there in the China Open, and yes, Sam Craigie too. So it was so as you're saying, 2016-17 was a pretty good season for you.
Yeah, it was around that time actually. I was having problems with my shoulder and my neck as well. I remember after Christmas one time, I couldn't practice. I had to get some treatment, and was really struggling. I had a couple of qualifiers come up, and I had Mark Williams and Stephen Maguire in the matter of space of 4 days, like 2 qualifiers or something. And I hadn't been able to play for about 3 or 4 days before, and I was 3-1 down to Mark Williams, came back and beat him 5-3, and then beat Maguire 4 days later. But that, I remember that quite fondly, because I thought, I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to play. And it's amazing when you start playing, and adrenaline, it can mask a bit of the pain. But yeah, so no, I've always had some good results, but been fairly inconsistent, I would say, in the early part of my career. Certainly the first half of my career, I was probably a bit inconsistent, and then started working with Ian McCulloch around that time, 2016 or something like that, and started to become a better player and a lot more consistent. So I can't speak highly enough of him.
So I think when you came back onto the tour, so we're now going to look at current times. That's sort of, it illustrates what you're saying is your achievements since you came back on to the tour. I was looking at some current rankings, and they do three. I didn't realize they did 3. They do an overall ranking, a 1-year list, and a bet victor list. And
yeah,
again, if I've got these numbers wrong, Martin, my apologies. But overall is 59 at the moment. The 1-year list, you're at 21. But the Bet Victor list, which obviously is the ones that Bet Victor sponsor, you're 7. So that illustrates how good it's been really for the years since you came back on the tour.
Yeah, no, I've had a decent season, but especially in the Bet Victor ones, the home nations, and they've been a big part of my season. To be fair, but at the same time, I lost quite a few first rounds as well. I've lost 4 or 5, so it's while it's been a good year, there's been some frustrating defeats along the way as well, especially in some of the bigger events. But yeah, no, I can't complain too much. Listen, first year back on, I've had a final, a quarters, last 16. It's as I've got into the tournaments, I've been sort of dangerous in a way. So no, not too much to complain about, but so always I was kind of capable of this kind of snooker, but yeah, it's just about keeping your head down and keep going.
You've picked up the nickname. Everyone's got a nickname. I got one too. It's definitely not repeatable on this little broadcast, but you picked up a nickname, Ministry of Defence. Now, I've watched you play, and I think you're a good solid attacking player. Is that just because of your initials?
I think it's mainly determined because of my initials. Everyone calls me MOD sort of thing. So they were Rob Walker was trying to didn't know whether to just stick with MOD or go with something else. But at the time where he did it, yeah, I was probably, a bit more conservative in my play, which would be a fair statement. So, I was kind of always a bit safety first, but I've changed that kind of mindset. And yeah, so it might not absolutely suit my style of play, but yeah, no, it is what it is. It's, there's a better one that comes along, so be it.
Your best showing since you came back on the tour would be the Welsh Open. You beat in the quarterfinals, Luca Brissell.
I enjoy playing him. The way he plays the game, the freedom he plays with. He's a really nice guy. He's a gentleman around the table. So he's just really nice, nice guy to play. I can't really explain my record against him. I have played well against him a lot of the time. That's obviously, you have to be able to beat players like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a good record. Long may it continue, but.
And so, coming up to current day, just about to go to the World Championship qualifiers. I believe you play in a few days on Friday the 12th. It's either Mehe Long or Sarkis. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. From a personal point of view, we've sort of only known each other for about a year since I contacted you to see if you were happy to be sponsored by Snookerz. As a result of the sponsorship, what we're trying to do with grassroots snooker has got a lot more exposure, especially obviously during the Welsh Open. We all wish you the absolute best for the World Championships, Martin. It's obviously the toughest competition that there is, but you've had a great year, and I personally hope, and we all hope, that goes from strength to strength. And thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and it's a pleasure to be sponsoring you.
No, that's all right. Thanks. It's a pleasure to be involved and supporting the grassroots snooker. Because there's a lot of good players in this country, and if we can get the grassroots going a bit more and support it in any way, then I think it's important. So yeah, happy to be part of it. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Martin, and good luck.
And we thank Martin for taking us the time to give us that interview. We also, of course, wish him all the best for the upcoming World Championship qualifiers. And we ourselves have a tournament coming up, which is the Snookerz Open. That's being held at Woking Snooker Centre on the 27th and the 28th of April, so this month. We still have a few places left for that, and if you would like to enter that, then the information on how to do so is on the screen at the moment. There are discounts for under 16 players, as well as WDBS, which is World Disability Billiards and Snooker players. So finally, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the interview with Martin, and have a great day.